Hey guys, I hope this records because I've lost all my voice things. Okay, so this is paneer. It's 500 grams of paneer. It's 1.5 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1 teaspoon of salt. In case you're wondering what we're cooking paneer dabir. And these are the other spices that we're gonna need. We're gonna need 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, and that's gonna add a lovely flavor, and half a teaspoon of asafoetida, a couple of cloves, a couple of cardamoms, dried chili, 3 cinnamon sticks, and a couple of bay leaves. And we're gonna fry this up later in the thing. Okay, and then we are going to add some more thing, and we're going to add a good 1.5 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of garam masala. And this is going to add flavor to the dish later on as we add it. Okay, and then we're going to add, this is a besan, which is chickpea flour, and we're going to use this as a thickening agent in our dish later because we need to cook it out with a little bit of water, and then we need to thicken it towards the end. So we're going to use this, and we're going to dry roast this in a pan to bring out the nutty flavor. We will also need about 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup of thick yogurt. Please let it be unflavored and unsweetened. We do not need the sugar in this dish. And we have kasturi methi. I believe this is called fenugreek leaves, dried fenugreek leaves. And then we have 3 whole onions finely minced. We have 4 tomatoes finely chopped, and this is going to be the base of our dish. We have some green chilies that have been de-seeded and julienned into nice strips, and our ginger and garlic paste. We're going to need a tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste, so about 1.5 teaspoons of ginger, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic later on in the dish. Okay, so now we are going to marinate the paneer with the 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and the salt. And we're going to do that. My paneer is a bit sticky because I just took it out of the freezer. But yeah, we're going to do that, and we're going to get all those spices in and marinate it very nicely. Ensure that each cube is coated with the spices because sometimes these powders, they go straight to the bottom, so really turn it around. Okay, now we're going to roast our chickpea flour or besan, and we're going to do this on low heat because we don't want to burn it. We just want to remove the raw taste in it. It's not really necessary, but by toasting it very lightly in a very low heat pan, it brings out the nutty flavor, which adds an additional layer of flavor in the paneer. So add it to a pan and dry roast it slowly.
So we're roasting it, and if you could smell it right now, you can smell that the aroma. There's this very nutty smell, and that would basically add more flavor to the dish as we cook it, and we use this as a thickening agent. So this is our roasted chickpea flour. I know the common thing is that people would say, oh, it needs to go brown and all of that. Please don't do that. You will bring it a little bit too far. And what you want is just to have that smell, that little bit of nuttiness inside, because it is going to cook again. So that would be bringing the flour a little bit too far along. So just use it until you can smell it and that raw taste is gone. Your house will smell very nutty. Okay, so yeah, you bring it up to there. The color will not change. Yeah. So we're filling the pan with about some normal vegetable oil, and what we're going to do is we're going to pan fry the paneer, and just till it browns. Okay, so can you see it's gone a lovely brown color? And yeah, you just want to take it until you have that lovely brownish golden look. Just give it a few more minutes and then we'll take it out. So you can take it out by putting it in there. Your oil will change color because obviously all the masalas are going, to ultimately mix in with the oil, but don't worry about that. Just focus on getting your paneer nice and lovely and golden. Yeah. So as we are cooking this further along, right, it is quite normal because for the paneer to get a little bit more browned, just be careful, keep your eye on it so that it doesn't burn. Yeah, and take it out once it's golden. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna fry the spices, okay? So when you're frying spices, try to start with the big ones first, like the cinnamon stick, okay? Start with that because largest surface area is easier to know if you're gonna burn it or not, with the smaller ones and the powders and all that, add that last. So we're gonna fry the spices, all the spices that I showed you. So just remember, chili powder, dried chili, bay leaves, asafoetida, cumin seeds, cloves, and cardamom. Okay. And if you're wondering why we're adding spices, why are we frying spices and then later we're gonna, add all these other ground spices already. So what this actually does is it adds flavor to the oil by frying the spices, and that infuses even more flavor. So it's basically what Indian cooking is about. It's about adding more and more and more flavor in every aspect of it. And please remember to do this on low heat, because the last thing you want is to burn your spices, because if you were to burn your spices, they would become very bitter, and the overall aftertaste of the whole dish would be bitter. Okay. I'm gonna add my bay leaves. The cloves and the cardamom as well. And also the cumin seeds. And finally, asafoetida. Okay, and now we're going to add the onions. And we're just going to cook this until it completely browns before we add the next ingredient. Okay, so now that you can see that the onions are slightly golden brown, before we're going to add 1 teaspoon of ginger, sorry, that was garlic, and 1 teaspoon of ginger, the ground ginger paste. So it's about 2 teaspoons or 2/3 of a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, 1 teaspoon each. And we're gonna let it fry some more and just let it simmer a little bit and brown the onion just a little bit more. Okay, so once you've added all the, you've fried out all the garlic and the ginger paste, now you can add all the different masala powders that we were talking about just now. Don't leave anything behind. Add everything that is in the bowl so that we don't waste anything. Okay, so by now your house should smell of spices. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna continue to brown it a little bit. And then we are going to add our 4 chopped tomatoes. We're gonna add all of that in. Okay. And we're gonna mix it until it's all incorporated. Okay, so what we're doing is we're trying to mash it a little bit so that it has a more smoother texture. So using the back of the spatula to just mash the tomatoes and the gravy, and we're going to fry this out really well before we add the other ingredients. Okay, now that it's simmering, what we're going to do is we're going to add a mug of water. Okay, and we're going to mix it a little bit. And then we're going to bring this to a boil just so that everything can cook well and incorporate well. So let's just wait for it to simmer and come to a boil. Okay, so you can clearly see that this is boiling right now. And what we're going to do is, as you can see, it's quite watery. There is the excess thing. But we needed to add the water because we needed all of it to really cook down and really come together. So that's why we added the water. But now we're going to thicken it, and we're going to thicken it using the roasted basin. So we're just going to add that in, and we're going to mix it in. And this is going to add extra flavor. Okay. It doesn't work as fast as cornstarch, but it will slowly work. So you just need to keep stirring it. And as we keep stirring, it will get slightly thicker. Right. Okay, great. Okay, now that part is over. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add 4 tablespoons of yogurt. In this case, it's about a 1/4 cup. And what this is going to do is it's going to give the dish a real creaminess to it. Can you see that? How beautifully it's swirling? Look at that. Yay. Very pretty. Okay. Just stir it in really well. And then finally, we are going to add our paneer back in the dish. Beautiful paneer, so incorporate it all in. There we go. All of it in. And remember those green chilies that we cut up just now? We're going to add that in as well. I'm going to keep some to decorate it later so that it adds some color. But most of that will go in right now. And then, you see how beautiful that looks with all the green chilies and everything. Okay, and then the very last thing that we're going to do is we are going to add some kasturi methi. Okay, so I'm being quite generous with how I'm adding things, but you can add about a teaspoon, but I'm adding slightly more because I like my dishes extremely flavor packed. Okay, So now we're going to let it simmer, and we're basically done with the paneer daba. That's it. We're done with the paneer daba.
Okay, so for this part, I basically used the Thermomix to make some garlic naan, but I'm going to change the recipe a bit. So all I'm doing here is just folding the naan, and I'm going to leave it in an oiled bowl and leave it to rest, and then roll it out. Okay, so now on to our second dish, which is a creamy coconut chickpea curry. We're going to add some oil to a pan, and again, put this on low heat. Okay, so we're going to add about 2 chopped onions, again chopped finely. We're going to add that to the pan, and we're going to fry that up until it's nice and brown. When the onions become translucent, we're going to add a can of chopped tomatoes to it and mix it up real well so that all of the flavors can be incorporated. We're now going to add a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of cumin powder, and a teaspoon of garam masala to the mix. And we're just going to stir the spices into the sauce and mix it up as much as we can. Okay, so now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of curry powder, and this is Daba's curry powder that I'm using because I like the taste. Now this is going to make the whole thing pretty dry because there's quite a bit of powder in there, so that's going to suck up all the moisture in there. Yeah, but that's normal, it's fine. We just need to mix it and cook out the curry powder till it's nice and fragrant and everything's mixed well, so ensure that you mix everything really well. At this point, we're going to add about 400 mils of coconut milk to the pan. I'm using low-fat coconut milk. You can use whichever coconut milk you like. There is no hard and fast rule to this, so I'm using 2 small packets, which are 200 mils each. And then we're going to mix everything and ensure that it's all well incorporated. It will be a little bit hard to stir because, so do it slowly, don't do it vigorously, because then you'll end up splashing everything all over the place. So, we're just gonna let that mix it well until all the coconut is mixed in with the paste, and it's gonna smell extremely heavenly at this point. Look at that beautiful thick paste. Then we're going to add a can of chickpeas. Make sure you drain out all the water and rinse it. And we're going to add that in, and we're just going to let that simmer for a good 10 minutes. Oh yes, please don't forget to add some salt. I'm adding about a teaspoon of salt, but you can add as much as you want according to your taste. To make this more nutritional, I'm adding a whole pack of baby spinach, which I have rinsed. What this does is give the dish not just the protein element of it, but also vitamins from the baby spinach. You can turn it off if this has been simmering for 10 minutes and then add the spinach, because the spinach will cook in the residual heat. So you can see it looks like a lot of spinach, but it will all wilt down in a couple of seconds, as you will soon see. And spinach adds a lot of vitamins, and it makes the dish more nutritional as well and more delicious, so you get your fiber, your extra vitamins, and everything else included. And now we're just gonna plate up the dish. I've got my little bowl here, and we're just gonna put all of that curry in there. Look at how thick and lovely and glossy all of that looks. It's completely vegan. This one's completely vegan. So thicken it up with some basin. I'm adding some coriander leaves as a garnish, and we're basically done. Okay, so back to our naan that we're doing. Okay, so as you can see, the naan dough has doubled in size. I actually let it go a little bit too long because I was freaking out about the fact that I've lost the audio for this video. But okay, so there you see it. And what we're gonna do is we are going to fold it again, okay, and make it into a nice round ball. As you can see, the dough is proofed very well, and I'm just folding it onto itself. It over, and it's going to be a really nice round piece of dough. It's very smooth and it's very tight. Yeah. So what I've done is I've divided the dough into basically 8 pieces and rolled them in, and then I'm taking a cube of cream cheese and putting it in the middle. So I want this to be a cheese stuffed garlic butter naan. So that's what I'm doing. So as you can see, I'm just flattening out the dough. This is very easy. There's no precision in this, you know. And then we're going to fold it onto itself. As you can see what I'm doing, just folding it in the middle, stuffing it in there. Yep, nicely making it nice and round. And yeah, leaving it there. So just leave it there. And I'm going to do a third piece as well. Okay, and after which, what I'm going to do is I actually flattened it out to make it oblong in shape, and then we're going to put it in a high heat pan. No oil, nothing. We're just going to put it in a high heat pan, and we're going to let it go completely blistering brown. So we want to see lots of browning on the naan, and we want to press it down as well. Yeah, after which we're going to put garlic and butter with it and coriander, sprinkle some coriander. This is a recipe from the Thermomix, and I made this with the help of the Thermomix, but I'm doing it a little bit more my way. So sprinkling a lot of coriander in it, along with putting a lot of garlic with melted butter. I didn't have nigella seeds as the recipe called for, so I'm using cumin seeds for it, and I'm trying to rub it right in. So as it comes off the pan, you do it immediately so that it's hot and it sticks better. So that is the coconut spinach chickpea curry that we have, along with the Paneer Daba.